Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of Doodle Shoodle's basic workshop. So, in the previous class, we had seen about the face when we were making our characters, and now we will dive into the body. So, I'm going back to the shapes and experimenting with different shapes that you can use for the body. The first one being an oval. You can use an oval type shape for the body. You can use a triangle. You can go for an oblong. You can also try seeing a bean shape. If you like Rajma Chawal, probably you will really love this shape. A bean shape sort of a body can also be used. You can go for a square and many more actually. These are the basics, but you can go for many more. Now, this is a most commonly asked question to me that Shweta, how do you decide on to the proportion of the body? So here is the answer to you all. That there is a ratio that we follow to make the characters and the body of the characters, which is 1 is to 3 is to 4. So taking this ratio in consideration, let's draw a character. I'm starting with the basic. It's going to be like a stick figure. I'm taking a length of the character over here right now, and make sure that your vertical line is not only starting and ending on your face, but you end it towards the feet of the character. Let's call it a vertical axis. And let's take the ratio of the head part as 1. Now, if the head part is 1, let's consider that there are going to be 3 heads a head, and you can take it as a ratio of 3. For example, from the neck area, just take 3 more heads and you will find your torso. So the torso actually is 3 times of your head. In short, that is what I'm trying to explain. Your torso is 3 times of the head, and from the torso till the feet, it is 4 times of your head. So I hope you get the ratio that we follow when we are building a basic character. This is going to be a torso. You can also call it as the bum line. And this is going to be your neck, or let's say your shoulder line, and this is going to be your feet line. I really want you to understand this ratio and try to draw your characters with such ratios so that you have ample amount of practice and you know how to give the proportion to your entire body of the character. So if this is understood, let's move on to the next slide. Now I'm drawing a simple character. It's kind of a stick figure, and I am going to divide this character from the head to the entire feet area. So it's going to be a vertical axis. This is a very important axis, guys. Very, very important. You play a lot with this axis and you get so many new characters. Now I'm dividing my character with the torso. Let's say this could be my torso. Now I'm just drawing a very simple feet and giving him a very confident look. This is front posing character. Now if you want, you can add a separate neck to your character. That is completely optional. Now basically it depends upon what kind of a character you want to draw. So if you're drawing a kid, you don't really need to draw a neck. But then if let's say you're drawing another character, maybe you will have to. Let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is all about stick figures. We all have drawn stick figures in our lives. Some point of time in our life we have done this. So it's going to be very, very similar. So I'm drawing a very simple stick figure right now. This is what we have done at the back of our books, at the back of let's say a diary or anything. So we've drawn a lot of stick figures. but this seems to be very stiff to me right now. You cannot really move it. It acts more like a puppet. So I'm going to add a little flow into this stick figure by adding joints. I'm adding joints to the stick figure right now. I'm kind of trying to evolve my stick figure from a very stiff stick figure to a dynamic, moving, flowy stick figure. I'm still not happy with this one, so I am planning to give a little more evolvement to the same stick figure. So what I'm going to do is, these are very pointy. I'm going to make it a little more smooth, a little more curvy, so that it gives a very dynamic, flowy kind of an effect. It won't be very edgy sort of a thing. Now as you can see, this looks more flowy to me than having edges in your knees and elbows area. So this stick figure can be used, but let me do a little more evolvement. I am trying to go ahead and give a shape to the stick figure. I'm not liking the straight line because we all are not very skinny by nature. Let's give some body to it. And then I'm giving the same round hands. This stick figure looks really good to me. Now the problem with this stick figure is that this is again a stiff stick figure. It is not moving anywhere. If you see, there is no flow or movement to the stick figure. So now this vertical axis is called line of action, and I am going to make this line of action a little curvy. I'm going to change it. I'm changing this line of action. So this is going to show some movement in my stick figure. I'm going to go along the line of the line of action. Line of action is nothing but your vertical line. You see how there is a movement now in the character, in the stick figure. Wow, I really love the pose. So there is movement in this, hence the stick figure is looking much more appealing. Unlike this static one. Did you see? The moment you changed this line, the vertical line, to a curvy line. I'll just write this down. The curvy line is line of action. So the moment you changed it into a different direction, you see such great movement, and that is what we need in our characters. We don't need static characters at all. It's really recommended that you practice with this line of action and create different postures of stick figures. Trust me, it's a very fun activity and you learn a lot during this process. Line of action is the first thing that we draw when we make our characters. So for example, let's say I'm giving a few random line of actions right now, and I'm going to create a stick figure, a moving kind of a stick figure out of this. Draw the characters in line with the line of action. Just look at the way the body has changed. It looks really nice. So this is like hit and trial method, experimenting. You are changing, exaggerating, giving directions. So this is something that you're doing out of your mind. You're just experimenting. It's hit and trial again. Let's say I'm making a moving character. I want him to run. So this is how we'll have the posture of a running person. Now let's say I want to draw a character who's jumping. How will you show this? Obviously when the person is jumping, let's say it's like a good jump in the air. Hands are like widespread. But you need to show something. You need to show the ground. When you show the ground and draw a jumping character, people can relate it more. So I'm giving a shadow of the character on the ground, and I'm giving these 3 lines to show the direction in which he's jumping. This makes more sense. Let me tell you the concept of light and shadow. Now, if your source, the light source is on the left hand side and the object is in between, then the shadow is on the right hand side. If the light source is on the right hand side and the character is in between, then the shadow falls on the left hand side. And just like the above one, if the light source is on top of the character, then the shadow will fall right beneath him. So wherever the light is, opposite direction is the shadow. That is what you have to remember. Very simple fundamental of light and shadow. So make sure that you have got this concept right. Also, not forgetting to mention, in the first stick figure which is running just above this, you must give line movements to it. I've given 3 line movements which shows the direction in which he is running in. So from wherever he's running, at the back side will be the 3 lines of movement. It gives more value to the characters that you're creating instead of just making something in space. And the opposite direction is going to be, if the person is running in the opposite direction, the lines are going to be right behind him. So remember these basic fundamentals whenever you're creating your characters. Now this line of action seems to be very interesting to me, the third one. So I am going to draw a very proud and very confident character over here. So this is the torso. Now here is the leg. And I would like to keep his hands at the side of his body, showing a very, very positive, very proud, very confident character. So now I hope that you have understood the concept of line of action, the movement, shadow, because these are very, very important, and we begin our characters with the line of action. It's a very important factor for you to understand, because this is going to help you to give a posture to your character, to give a movement to your character, to give a flow to your character. So very, very important thing. Now let's move on to the previous slide. Now on this slide we have seen the proportion of the character, but hey, this is just the basic character. You can always challenge this proportion, this ratio, and create characters on your own as well. So let's see how that can happen. Now I'm taking the previous ratio 1:3:4. Let's draw a straight baseline. Now this character that I'm going to draw is going to be with very simple shape again, with circle. Now I'm going to divide this character with the vertical axis. Let me take it a little bit towards the 3/4 side. And I'm going to bring this vertical axis till the baseline. And I want to give a curve to it. I don't want to make a very static one. Let me give some dynamics to this character. So you can see that there is a flow already in the character. I'm deciding how much torso to give. Now, first is the shoulder line, second is the torso line, and third is the feet line. Remember that. So you can always change the range of these 3 lines. You can play with reducing the shoulder line or increasing it. You can increase or decrease the waistline or increase or decrease the feet. What will happen? The proportion of the character, the shape of the character is going to change if you do this. So let's say I'm keeping very small shoulder. I'm going to widen the torso. I'm going to keep the feet also a little smaller. And now I'm going to create the body for this character. I'll go in line with the action line. I'll draw the trouser or the pants for this character. You see how it's turning out to be. Look at the action line. Look at the posture this character is getting now. I'll just erase this line so that I can give 2 double lines for the pant. Now let's just give some feet area. You can add hands as well. I'll do that in a bit. Now this character is already looking to the 3/4 side. So when I have to give the hand, remember, if you get up right now and stand, the hand of yours is going to reach till half of your thigh. So I'm going to draw the hand till half of your thigh. If you get up right now, you will see that your hands reach to the half of your thigh mostly. Some might reach to the knees also. Mine does not. So half of your thigh is good enough. I'm just giving very basic expressions to the character so that there is a character building over here. Let's quickly give the hair. Nice, the character has turned out really good. There is a personality to the character, if you can see. A personality that you have created because of the line of action, the vertical axis. So this character has turned out pretty fine and I like it the way it is right now. Now I want to challenge this ratio. So what I can do is I can play with the 1:3:4 ratio currently. So let me draw a tall character. I want to draw a tall character, so I am going to take a, let's say, bean shape. It's a bean shaped face. Let me divide this. I'm going to take this axis. I've changed the curve of this line of action and I'm going to take it down till the baseline. Let's say I take the torso of the equivalent distance, the three heads. But now my legs are going to be very tall. So here is what you can do with your character. You can change the length of your legs and hands and let the torso be the way it is. So I'm increasing the torso, I'm increasing even the shoulder line. I want to make it like a nice good character, nice good big character. And then add the pants to it. Now you can add the pants the way you want. I have increased even the feet line a bit for this character. It's widened a bit, so you can see the pants. It's like standing tall. This character is standing tall. There is no slouchiness. In fact, I can make him a very confident character. Now again, I'm giving the hands as the length of the half of the thigh. Make sure that your elbow is coming at the center of this hand that you have drawn. So this is very important. Select the center of the curve that you're taking and that is going to be your elbow. Now here you can see that the ratio is not 1:3:4. Rather, the head and the torso is fine, but he has really long legs. So you can always challenge this ratio and create characters on your own with some experiments. Also, this personality of the character is really very bold, very, very confident personality. Let's complete this character now. I'm going to add the expressions. So using these kind of eyes, not forgetting the ears. I'm thinking of giving him a pointy nose. A pointy nose will be better. But before that, a quick hairstyle. A pointy nose. And let me give a mouth below. So I've not used the 3 horizontal lines, rather I went and made the expressions really quickly. So sometimes when you have done enough practice, you can draw it directly as well. You don't have to make your construction lines all the time. And now here I'm comparing the personality. Look at the curve because of which the personalities have changed. The action line is very, very important. This is the reason. This guy looks much more confident and this looks lazy. He looks scared and lazy. More than scared, he looks lazy. If I had to make him scared, probably I can change his expressions. But look at the change in the curve and the personality that it brings to the character. Is why the reason action line is very, very important. I'll write this down that you need to challenge this ratio. This is not a golden thing that 1 is to 3 is to 4 is what you have to follow, but go ahead and challenge it. You can also experiment a lot with different postures, not only the standing ones, but you can go ahead and see for the sitting characters, then maybe skydiving characters, yoga characters, like people doing yoga. Different postures of yoga is going to help you to understand this line of action. Maybe somebody who is resting on a beach bed, you can show somebody lying down, climbing the mountain. There's so many things right now which is popping in my head. So I'm just randomly writing it down. You can draw the characters related to these postures and you will see how this action of line amazes you. Now, when it comes to postures, there are two things that you can draw. Either you can experiment and challenge these line of action the way we have been doing till now, or else there is a second option as well, which is reference images. Now, when I talk about reference images, please make sure that I'm talking about real ones, the real pictures which are available on internet. I am not talking about something which has already been drawn, sketched, doodled, illustrated, or anything by any other artist on the face of this planet. Just simply go on Google, type the kind of posture you're looking for, look at the real pictures, and figure out the line of action. As simple as that. Now, moving on to the next slide. This is a very commonly asked question to me again, and that is the reason why I'm including it in today's session. Drawing a character in front, side, and back pose. So I'm going to show you how you draw the same character in the side and the back view as well. So as usual, taking the circle. By now you know that Shweta loves circles. So taking the circle, I'm just taking another layer to draw the guideline so that I can just delete it after the characters are done. I'm taking the line of action. I'm just drawing a straight character right now to show you the side and the back view. So dividing the torso and making a very normal character, very normal kid, you can say. Now if you want, I'm drawing very basic, you can add accessories to the character as well. You can add a bag, you can add glasses, so many things that you can do. So I'm making like a 3/4 sort of a clothing for him, and then give the feet to the character. Since the character is wearing a shirt, I'm giving the sleeves to the character as well. And like I said, that the hand, if stood straight, if you keep your hand towards the side of your body, it will touch half of your thigh. So I'm taking the same kind of ratio and making straight hands over here. Neck of the shirt that he's wearing. And let's quickly give him expressions. I want to make his face looking a little upwards. So I'm going to draw it in the guideline layer, and the 3 horizontal lines looking a bit upwards. He's laughing, that's why he has closed his eyes. That's the reason I'm making such eyes. Nice cute nose. And he's laughing. He's a happy kid. Looking up and he's laughing. He's happy. So I'm making the mouth, ear. Actually, I should shift the ears a little bit on the top in line with the eyes and nose. This looks better. And then give hair. Now remember one thing with the hair, if you look upwards, you don't see much of the hair because you're looking upwards and your hair have gone at the back. And reverse, if you look downwards, you can see a lot of your hair because now you're actually showing your hair when you look downwards. So keep this also in your mind, this little observation. So just giving very little hair on the top, and if I remove the guidelines, this is how the character looks like. Now this is the front side of this character. Now what will you do if you want to draw the side view, the back side view of it? So what I'm going to do, I'll take another character, we'll draw another circle and make sure that the circle is similar to the one that I have drawn before. I'll take some measurements also in between. So I'm making a side view, hence the line of action, the vertical line is going to be on the side of the face. We have done this in the earlier sessions. Since he's looking upwards, the 3 horizontal lines are going to be little on the top. This is going to be the straight line of action. And now I'm going to take some measurements. Since I'm drawing the same character, everything should be similar to the previous one. So I'm going to the guideline layer. And now I'm going to take the level of the shoulder, the level of the t-shirt, the pant, and obviously we are at the base, so we don't need level for that. And I'm going to extend this so that I can keep it ready for the back view as well. So just take the ratios from the first character only. Now since I've taken the ratio, I can go ahead and draw the character's body. Now this is the side view, remember, that is the reason why the position of the hands is going to be different. Please make sure that you see this carefully. Done with the trouser, adding the feet. One leg is not looking good to me, so I'll draw the other one also, showing that it is right next to it, because we have to balance the character onto the ground. And now hand is going to come inside. Since you are turning left, your hand comes inside. Just like your ear comes inside the circle when you're turning left. Even your hand, because it's in line with your ear, so it will come inside. Now this looks fine to me. We can now add the expressions on the character. Just giving the same hairstyle the previous one, because you want to make it a look-alike character. And then quickly stroke it. We have already done the stroking part in the earlier session. So this is the stroking part of your hair. And then we will add the expressions to it. Same eyes, same eyebrows, same nose. Since it's the side view, the nose is going to come outside. And the laughter, the side view laughter. If you remove the guidelines, this is how your character will look like when it comes to the side view. Now turning on the guidelines back again, I am going to draw the back view. taking the circle of the same size. Now notice here that there is not much difference between the front view and the back view. The only thing is the clothes. I mean, you will see the back side of the clothes, and obviously you will see the back side of the head, which will not have expressions but hair. So even if you draw the same thing, even if I would have done the copy paste of the entire body, would have been fine. So this is the back view of the clothes. Obviously you will not be adding the neck. If you want, you can add the very little opening for the back side of the neck, but you don't really need it. That's totally optional if you want to do it. Add the ear part, because obviously you can see the ears from the back side. And you will now draw hair. This entire circle is going to comprise of the hair, nothing else but hair. Give the strokes in the direction of the circle and fill it up, because now you're drawing the backside of the hair, which is full of obviously the hair. You don't see scalp unless and until you're going bald. So fill it up with hair, and this becomes the backside of the character. There is one thing that I want to change. You will not have those little openings in the ear because you're showing the backside of the ear, so I'll remove it just after making these strokes. This is the side view, this is the back view. And this is how your characters will look like. Removing the guidelines, they look very similar. So this is how you can draw the same character, all the views. I've removed the ear part for the back view. It's going to be simply the ears. You don't have any opening to the ear from the back. Now the next thing that you need to do is a task. So this is task 3. In this task, you need to make 10 stick figures. Now make sure that you are experimenting with various postures. It can be pushing the wall or hitting someone, or sitting on a chair, lying down on a bed. Anything you can go for, but draw 10 various different kind of stick figures. And second is experiment with 5 characters using these line of action and challenge the ratio. Just 5 characters. You want to draw each for the line of action and each for the challenge the ratio. It's totally up to you. But make sure that you're giving various kind of line of actions and challenging the ratio for different kind of characters: long, tall, short, fat, skinny, whatsoever you want. You can try doing that. So make sure that this task is done. This is a very interesting task and I'm sure you guys will enjoy. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you guys in the next session. Till then, take care of yourselves.